Is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's time for tonight's tournament. We are to be broadcasting, of course, the 4v4 variant tournament for November 9th. Of course, it is myself, Lando Sanders, here live from the UMG studio. We're hopping in here toward round number one. Like I said, of tonight's tournament, it's taking place between Zodiac and RapzRebellion. We're obviously kicking things off here on Gibraltar Hardpoint, and one that is very anticipated, one that's very excited. Especially for myself. We've been casting countless search and destroy matches, whether in preparation for World War II in Call of Duty Ghosts or so far in COD World War II so far in the season. I've only had the search and destroy tournament. So very much looking forward to getting back toward Hardpoint. Of course, one of the many game modes involved right now in the competitive rotation. And speaking of game modes, of course, to keep in mind, these are best of three. So when it comes down to map number 3, we are going to be rotating each series between CTF and Gridiron. So just something to kind of keep in the back of your minds when it comes down to that map number 3. If it does, of course, come to it. And obviously decide that is the two teams that we currently have right now. Zodiac and RapzRebellion currently, of course, for the side of Zodiac, we do have Jump, Baker, Naux, and Zach GodLike. And for the side of RapzRebellion, we do have Scruzzer, Prosper, Guhnzy, I think, and Unique. As it should be an interesting one to kick us off. And already taking a look at the score for the moment, it is currently RapzRebellion up by about 28 points, as we are currently with about half the time remaining on Fort Courtyard. And one thing interesting to kind of bring up about Gibraltar is many rotations that are big for this map. Of course, we kind of talk about that, but at least in the hard points that we have currently in the competitive game mode as far as maps are considered, rotations are incredibly huge. And right now it is the side of RapzRebellion setting up for the hard point number 3. This is going to be on Castle Road. And one thing that is going to be important when it comes down to this hill is locking down this current checkpoint that Scruzzer has. The one coming from middle. Jump going to check out, and Scruzzer might not be aware that the second player is just around that corner. However, holding strong and doing a great job. As you're also going to notice him toss out that Molotov to kind of linger off or trying to bait off that middle push that we actually just see, I believe it was Zach GodLike drop from. And a very solid hold right now. This is actually one thing that I wrote in my notes when I was watching Team Scrim a little bit earlier, was that this hill definitely has the capability to be a money hill. I mean, there's only so many entry points that you can get in through, whether it's through this mid-street, whether it's through middle, or whether it's through that flank coming in through cave. And if you're not able to obviously get through the major 2 entry points, then it's going to be very difficult. A lot of the times, players watching the flank, it's going to be a massive struggle for teams currently not locking that one down successfully. As that does go to show how the scoreboard is currently taking place at the moment. 45-70, still a lead right now for the side of RapzRebellion as we get ready to rotate here over toward Turret. And this is actually a hard point that I've been very interested in seeing how it's going to play out when it comes down to the competitive scene, because there are 3 major entry points. Of course, the jump just gets dropped from 1 through mid-stairs. There's one on Comms building on the opposite side as Scruzzer finds 2. And there's one right behind his team as Scruzzer finds 3, looking for the 4th one on jump and gets that one as well. Granted, he gets dropped from a nade shortly after, but a fantastic kind of response, making sure that his team now has complete control over Turret. And the 3rd entry point, of course, coming from Comms building, which Scruzzer made it look effortlessly to lock this hill down. But it was, to me, a major question. It's, do you put the submachine gun player, do you put an AR player kind of in this close quarter fight? Do you throw down smokes to maybe try to make it a little bit easier for himself? As he totally eats a Molotov there, does Unique. Going to go off of his screen just because I don't want to hear the yells, the screams that are currently coming out. But it seems that they're going to be kind of rushing quite a few people, and this is the issue that I was exactly thinking why. Baker, Jump, all they have to do, just toss some frags inside of that hill. Toss them inside of the hard point. We already talked about when it comes down to search and destroy. And this particular map, nades, very, very heavy, of course, as they are in quite a few other maps. I think it's fair to say. Nades in World War II are just overall very, very strong. But when we do talk about, especially here on Gibraltar, they can definitely rain from above. And that's obviously being shown when it came down to that last hard point. Of course, first side of rotations finished with, as we are now looking here back at Pit Center. As this one, of course, kind of interesting. This one kind of reminds me of a little bit of like a jungle gym. It seems that there's kind of a number of different little entry points. Of course, the ARs most likely lingering up top. Subs meant to be kind of lingering at the bottom, of course, due to the current way that maps are played and the way that the meta is currently. Quite a few bars, I think it's fair to say. I think I saw one FG42 coming in from the Ally squad, of course, which is the side of Zodiac. We'll see who... Actually, we'll see what the arsenal is looking like for other teams. So it looks like we're seeing 4 bars for the side of Zodiac. And it looks like we're seeing 4 bars from the other side as well. So 8 bars just goes to show which gun is the preferred one currently. As there are rumors of patches coming out regarding kind of changing up the weapons and whatnot as Prosper comes down with the streaks. As he's able to find 2 off that rotation, this is actually very important because holding this backside spawn is huge for the time being. But when it comes down to kind of holding on to this current hill here, obviously inside a courtyard, it's very huge to make sure that you do not kill teams when it comes down to the last few seconds of this hill. Rotating early is going to be a huge key when it comes into courtyard because you're going to see Prosper spawn exactly where the next hard point is. And the question being for them, do we make this push? Do we kind of waste all of our time to rush over there, or do we kind of set up? And they're making the smart play, and of course setting up here for Castle Road, as it is going to be actually player number 5, Scruzzer, making somewhat of an attempt as he'll get dropped from Naux, but that's not that much of a big deal as far as when it comes down to the overall positioning of each team, as a complete hill lockdown for Zodiac, trying to get themselves back into this game, have been down really since the first hard point, and have had struggles ever since. And this was the hill where we started to see quite a big lead gained for Raps. Let's see if they can hold on to this one. Guhnzy, of course, snaking right now here just toward that top stone area. A bit of a chest-high cover as both of them going to toss out Molotovs, exchanging words and kills as well as 3 fall. And you're starting to see issues coming in from the side of Zodiac. Such a difficult hard point to retake, as they basically always have to rush through this Castle Road, having to try and rush in. And you've got so many entry points, so many places to linger to hide. It can obviously be a major problem. And right now, it is just total dominance when it comes down to Castle Road for the side of RapzRebellion. Prosper doing amazing things, has earned all 3 of his streaks. And when it comes down to that next hill, which of course is now going to be on turret, using that glide bomb is definitely going to play huge because he can easily take out anyone sitting inside of that hard point. Of course, rotation coming in, last few seconds take down, and we'll see jump currently for the side of Zodiac inside of that hard point, trying to stay alive for as long as possible. Of course, pulling out the PPSH. I like to play from jump there. Granted, he does die, but if he ends up finding that gunfight, he can easily be a huge difference maker when it comes down to that hard point, because he can kind of rush through inside a cave and kind of be a little bit of a disturbance in some cases. But player number 2, actually, Naux, curious about his positioning. Is he going to go on the full flank, or is he not? It seems that they're kind of too invested with this hill. Not enough time to be pulling off any flanks or any pinches, as they're going to have to be focusing all attention right now on the hill. And it seems that a pistol kill coming in from Zach will do big things. Middle map, Naux finds one as well. So at least when it comes down to positioning for the moment, it is an advantage when it comes down to this third rotation of hills in the side of Zodiac. But we'll see if RapzRebellion can continue on their spree. 123 to 191, an early exchange. Naux wins that one. That is a huge kill when it comes down to positioning. Early things trying to get locked down. We're actually going to take a look at our overhead camera for the moment, as we'll get Grace there with a nice little point of view. But of course, we're going to take a look at the overhead of the map. Of course, you see the current player's position, jump on the hill. 2 players kind of forcing their way out as they both fall. And it looks like 1 player kind of coming on the flank. That is going to be Naux. Now, he's going to play a huge factor right now. If he dies in this position, all is lost. The entire rotation, the entire push to try to make something happen there is going to be useless. And in some cases, that's exactly what we do see. However, the side of Zodiac, pushing as many players inside of that hard point as they can, have kind of brought this one back a little bit. It's not been easy, but getting toward that 200-point mark, as we do see the side of Raps get closer and closer to it. Unique, currently 3 minutes inside of the hill, 17 and 20. Granted, he's -3, but who really cares at this point? Playing incredibly strong and just earned that Molotov. And he could actually use that Molotov to lock down communications. If they do have a little bit of errors kind of in the back, he can kind of toss that one off toward an entry point to make it difficult for the opposition to get through. And Jump finds 3 through the backside. Huge kill there coming in from Jump. But they're still spawning back here. That's the problem. He didn't get spawn control. I'm pretty sure he thought that finding those 3 kills would surely give him the spawns when it comes down to Fort Courtyard. But that's exactly the opposite, as Flames, shots coming forward. And despite the magnificent play coming in from Jump, not a whole lot of points coming from it. However, that could quickly change as the push toward the backside. Baker literally on fire at the moment after that Molotov was on top of him. Is trying to bring this one back. As Baker currently sitting at 24 and 19. Of course, Naux 21 and 23. And on the opposite end, you've got Prosper, actually. 32 and 13, 9 seconds of hardpoint time, but it really doesn't matter. He's kind of been the AR, the solid AR on the back, as everyone's really been the AR for the most part. But nice positioning toward the backside, not being too aggressive, kind of being that anchor right now for his team. And like I said, he doesn't have to get kills. However, he is getting ready to be rushed, and if he can find any group of kills, that would be nice, but is not going to get graced with either of those possibilities. Nades out for Castle Road, and it seems that the roles have reversed. As Jump finds the nice nade on the Scruzzer, we now see the roles reversed in the situation. So let's see how the side of RapzRebellion can kind of try to get this push through. It looks like they've got no one coming through the backside. All three making their push through middle. This is what you have to do. You can't force your way through that Castle Road anymore. Guhnzy comes from up top. The nade coming through to make the players weak. Scruzzer trying to do some damage. Prosper from above. He'll fall. And now it's a 2 versus 3 fight, and all of them are going to drop. This is why Castle Road is such a difficult hard point to break, and definitely, at least in this first series, the money hill for Gibraltar, as it is just one that can totally turn the tide of a match. As nades are out there from Naux, he will fall, but the final few moments here for the scrap seconds are taking place, and it looks like Scruzzer will be awarded with at least a few. And at this point, well, it is an awkward challenge as Scruzzer finds 2, trying to push these players back as far as they can, realizing spawns are important. Well, Zach finds the kill, 3 fall, and now Unique has to kind of hold off this push, having to hold off Naux, but he can't do that. Baker coming in with the streaks as he'll find at least 1. And now Naux up front inside of the hard point. He drops as well. 224 to 233. An incredibly close game. As we'll see how the side of RapzRebellion can try to retake this. Well, they actually tossed the Molotov. Unique tries to jump over it, but it's not going to work out. However, 2 players coming from middle. They've got to get these pinches quick. Finds 2! That's a massive combination there coming in from Guhnzy, excuse me. As back and forth we go, as this one should not end actually here on turret. But we'll see if it happens anyway. Unique locking down to hill time. Guhnzy finds 1. And now here comes the final push. The final push coming in. As it seems like it's not going to end here. But with only a few seconds needed, Zodiac is going to need to have the hold of a lifetime. 249 to 236. They could definitely do this. Unique on the flank. He's going to have to be the barrier to break. He's going to have to kind of lock at least 1 kill down, but no, turns right at the worst time possible. He ends up dropping, and it seems that Zodiac could definitely do this. 250 to 249 is how our first map will conclude, as a massive comeback goes through for the side of Zodiac. As you're going to see Prosper here in the Bronze Star, of course, highlight play, not the final kill cam, as what we're used to, but definitely major play coming in there from Prosper. But what a way to end our first map on the night, as we see a major comeback take place for the side of Zodiac. Of course, Baker dropping 40 and 24, along with 43 seconds inside of the hill for Jump. Really just +1, but 2 minutes inside of the hill. But on the opposite side, Unique, 21 and 30. Granted, not the strongest of performances, but 3 minutes and 32 seconds inside of the hill. Granted, could have done a little bit better when it comes down to the slaying, but did his job when it comes down to the objective. Of course, that was a very, very hard-fought match. But we really got to talk about when it comes down to that last one, the hill on Castle Road. That's going to be one to be looking out for when it comes down to the competitive season. Less spawns, unless they kind of change things up when it comes to hill rotations, etc. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, to the 4v4 variant tournament for November 9th. Of course, it's myself, Lando, here from the UMG studio. As we're, of course, hopping in here toward map number 2. Will be Search and Destroy on USS Texas. Map number 1 was a barn burner. Things came down to literally the very last moment, into the 250 to 249 in favor of the side of Zodiac. Of course, these are best of 3, so map number 1 meaning much more than usual, of course, as the side of Zodiac is now only 6 rounds of Search and Destroy away from closing this series out in a hot 2-0 and moving on here toward round number 2. But of course, looking at round number 1, it seems that the side of RapzRebellion struggling a little bit. Guhnzy trying to prevent an early round loss is being on defense as well. That would be a major problematic situation. However, nice shot there onto Baker. That's not an easy one to hit, especially with the PPSH. Has been kind of discredited for the lack of strongness, I guess. The lack of, what's the word I'm looking here for? The overall overpoweredness, I guess you could say, of the bar. Producer, thank you for helping me come out with words there. I appreciate that. But still, Guhnzy, PPSH in hand. Solid shots to this point, but needs the most important one here at the end. But no! My goodness. That was a nice shot coming in here from Naux. Gets the bomb down, and I believe Naux had the sniper rifle at the beginning of this round. Pretty sure he's very happy with the fact that he ended up picking a PPSH there for that particular gunfight. As you really thought that one was going to go Guhnzy's way. A potential hat trick in that round as he's going to shake his head a little bit in disgust most likely. But you also got to keep in mind, an offensive round here, one toward the side of Zodiac, along with getting the bomb down. That's going to be big for some streaks, as it is Naux who's already earned that Molotov. And looking on here with that sniper, as Jump finds one early. GodLike challenging on the bomb, just takes shots left and right and takes out Prosper. Guhnzy doing all he can, picking up the leftover frags as he'll at least drop one so far in the round. That one going to be on Jump, as looks like Unique drops there to the sniper of Naux. And Guhnzy yet again left in a similar position, 1 versus 3 player behind him. We'll see if he actually picks up Naux. And good trigger discipline for the moment, as he should be able to find this. Similar situations, however, one jumping off the side of the boat. His man overboard, essentially, as Guhnzy will end up falling yet again. Baker here for the round-ending kill cam, along with a nice support fire coming in from Zach GodLike. When you're in Guhnzy's situation, it's almost just like, hey, man, good luck in this position. It's a very difficult one to be in, especially being in back-to-back 1 versus 3s. As in it, he's at least found 4 kills, so you got to kind of keep that in mind. However, early 2 rounds going over toward the side of Zodiac. We've got to see RapzRebellion begin to pick it up if they want to see a CTF on Arden Forest. That one could definitely go either way. CTF, definitely kind of a up in the air kind of pick. Hardpoint search and destroy can kind of go different ways. You can kind of form a little bit of a strategy when it comes down to the overall picking of that. But when it comes to CTF, especially online, it can kind of be a toss-up when it comes down to multiple teams. As Guhnzy, yet again, doing some damage, finds an early one off the start, but Jump is there for the trade, and Prosper being aware of that potential B push. However, it looks like the bomb currently sitting up here inside of control room, as Prosper drops one on GodLike. And Jump making his way over toward this A bomb. We'll see if he wins to go and grab this one down, as Unique firing just below him. Baker finds the kill. That's a big one to find, and now Prosper toward the back lines, but no, Jump enters into the worst time possible. He'll drop with the bomb in his hands. As now Baker has to do the damage. He has to find this one just toward his right. Shuts down Scruzzer, and if you're in Scruzzer's position, it most likely will be a smart position to try and hop out. Literally, hop out of that control room. However, speaking of hopping out, we will be seeing a similar thing come out here from Baker, as the dolphin dive off the poop deck. Prosper's there for the cleanup, and that's a much-needed round if you're RapzRebellion. Of course, you did lose the first hard point in pretty unfortunate fashion, and now already losing the first 2 rounds. That would have been huge, losing that 3rd round. A lot of momentum would have gone Zodiac's way. You got to imagine they still probably have quite a bit of that, but looks like we are having a PPSH here for Jump. We'll be trying to get into one of these early gunfights. If you can walk away with a frag as far as a frag kill or a first blood, they're in a pretty good spot, especially being here on defense. A smoke tossed. I like the idea. However, Prosper nades his own teammate, and GodLike comes in with a second. Guhnzy doing all the damage he can, but Unique not being aware of a player above him. And Guhnzy, yet again, left in a 1-on-3, as he's 0 for 3 as far as those rounds are considered. But you got to think about 3 rounds. All 3 of those rounds, they have been in 3v1 situations, has been the side of Zodiac. That just goes to show the early first kills, the first bloods, the second bloods that are happening. And RapzRebellion has got to be aware of that. Whether it's playing more passively, whether it's maybe pulling on a sniper rifle and checking toward those more prominent areas, you just can't leave the man Guhnzy by himself, as he's had constant issues, as anyone would, being in these positions. And Unique currently sitting at 0-4. At this point, I think maybe you try to choose like a certain bomb center and just kind of rush it as a team and hope that the trades go your way. But they're currently dispersing themselves 2 on A, and it's player number 6, Guhnzy, the man that you really want to be in that position. The guy who's obviously had a hot bar off the start will find one. At the same time, Unique also drops 0-5. Unique, your positioning apparently is not unique to the other team. They know exactly where you're at. It looks like Jump will find Prosper, and Scruzzer, kind of a shaky shot there with the PPSH. As Guhnzy will be able to kind of pat him on the back, say, hey, man, I've been in this position before, no worries, and not being able to win the round, as it seems that the white flag potentially being drawn right now as he can't find a single kill, as it's going to be 4 rounds to 1 now in favor of the side of Zodiac. It's machine pistols here in bottom that will solidify that last one. And Zodiac looking strong. Right now it is jump, currently sitting at 7 and 3. On the other side, Guhnzy, 7 and 5. And Unique looking on here toward this A site. The guys from RapzRebellion cannot afford to lose this round. As Guhnzy drops, that's the one guy that you can't afford to lose if you are the son of RapzRebellion. However, kills responding. FG42 toward the back lines, as Unique was able to be there for that one, and Prosper there for the pickup at the end. So just when you start to think that maybe, hey, RapzRebellion's out of this one, Zodiac just looking too strong, they at least do a great job at kind of hanging back on defense. The side of Zodiac kind of makes a little bit of an aggressive rush, and the FG42 toward the back line was a great call coming in from Raps, maybe anticipating the early call, maybe anticipating the early rush, the aggressiveness that we could be seeing out of the side of Zodiac, and they counter it well. But can they capitalize on it? Can they get this one back to even? As they're definitely in the position to do so. Offense, not necessarily the most fun position to be in when it comes down to USS Texas, as the early nade there for jump onto Guhnzy. Back-to-back rounds drop for the first blood, I believe. As we actually take a look at the overhead camera, see how the fights are going as Zach GodLike finds 2 big kills. Unique toward the back lines. This could be the 3 found, as Unique will be able to at least silence Zach for the moment, but an early exit potentially coming in for RapzRebellion, as it is going to be 5 rounds to 2. As 3 huge kills there come in from Zach and Baker, with the most important one, and the one at the end. And I think it's only fair that we do look on here with the side of RapzRebellion. See what these guys can try and provide. As it will be Unique with the bomb. Guhnzy looking forward here, making his way toward this A site. Nades exchanged. Hit markers earned as well, so they at least know that someone's toward this back line. You're going to see Unique and, of course, Guhnzy as well focus their attention toward that. However, they have to be aware of the quick reaction from Zach GodLike just below them with the bar. Also has not tossed out that stun yet. He can actually jump on that overside toward the left of where he was at. Decides to not do it, so the first blood found for Guhnzy. Who else rather than this man? As he'll find another one. He's starting to heat up. 9 and 7. Naux toward the back line will shut down Unique, who was going for the bomb plant. Guhnzy says, well, I have to do this one, I guess. The Molotov is out, and Guhnzy, feeling the flames, will not drop, however. Has earned a Molotov of his own. Tosses that one out, and I don't mind the idea there. So he'll be able to at least lock off one position for the time, but no, Naux is going to hop on the defuse. Naux is hopping on this one, but here comes the nade. Will it affect Naux? It will not. No hit markers earned as well, as this should be a defuse. And yes, just like that, this round is over. This game, this series is over, as the sneak defuse will come through, and a very smart play coming in from Zodiac. I think it was honestly just a Molotov that was thrown to try and block off the line sight. And Zodiac was saying, hey, man, we can just kind of jump over that Molotov and easily defuse the bomb. So obviously, they're major props toward the side of Zodiac as they will move forward. Of course.